Hey guys, this is Luthias, and welcome to the ultimate base building guide for beginners with the new snapping system that will be coming out in the next update. As you can clearly see there, I'm playing on the experimental server where everything isn't polished yet. There's still a lot of improvements that they're going to do, but to get you guys excited and to start my series before the update launches, I just want you guys to get involved and just get back into this game. And if base building was ever frustrating for you guys, this is going to be fixed. By the way, I got the message. You guys want the guides, and my purpose has always been to help new players and expose the game to more players. So this is the first part of the projects I've always been promising you guys, and let's leave the subscribing and liking, till the end of the video. For now, guys, I've made a lot of guides, I helped a lot of you guys, and if my guides have opened your eyes up to this game and helped you to enjoy the game as much as I have, please share the game with as many of your friends as you can. If I think about the videos that will help a person very well, it's probably the in-depth guide. So you guys don't have to show them all the videos, you can just show them the in-depth guide. But I've got a target, guys, not for my channel, but for the game. And that target is 5,000 players before the end of the year. 5,000 concurrent players before the end of the year. Okay? If you guys want to make it a certain date where we all jump into the game, and see if we can break the servers or just hit that target, let me know. And yes, I'm basically asking you guys just for us to stand together, as a community. And I love the community, and I just want us to do a team effort and share this game with as many friends as we can, and show them the videos that we fell in love with. It doesn't need to be my videos, just something that got you excited about Miscreated, and just share some great experiences with your friends. Now, let's get back to this guide. As you can clearly see, I'm focusing on wooden pellets. Now, there are two ways to get lumber, which is your main resource for base building. And the easiest way for you to do this with the updates and the changes that they've made to Miscreated is to stack that lumber as you just exploring the island on a normal basis. Okay, so every single wood pellet you get to, you just grab the lumber from there. Every pellet will give you about 2 lumber. And as you're exploring the island, you just grab that lumber and you build it up. And your target when building a base is about a full stack, one full stack of 64 lumber. Wooden pellets, of course, you can get everywhere, garages and stuff like that. But trucks like these are very, very good places to get, a lumber. They've always got a few wooden pallets in them, and yes, like I said, you can get 2 lumber from every single location. I'll show you more locations, but because most of the base parts focuses on lumber, they made it a lot easier, because in the past you needed nails and lumber, or wood logs to make a plot sign. Now everything basically just boils down to lumber, and then you need scrap metal and stuff like that. But your main base parts, like your primary structure, just needs lumber. And then of course for your storage crates, you're going to need a bit of wood logs as well. And of course, chopping a tree like I'm doing right now helps you a lot, because you can craft lumber with 2 wood logs, okay, which is a great option as well. But for the start, I'm just going to gather about 64 lumber, but I'd suggest you go to about 2 stacks. And next to roads, you can pick up rocks. Now, there are various ways to get rocks from mutants and from stone walls and various other places, but searching next to roads where you see the gravel is always a fantastic way, to find as many rocks as possible. And trust me, guys, you are gonna need it. Just a small tip, you guys know I always love giving tips along the way. Repairing weapons, especially weapons that you harvest resources with, is very important so that you can harvest resources much longer, of course. But repairing clothing is your biggest concern in this game because of radiation storms and bleeding and protection. There you can see 4.3% cold resistance, 0.9% acid rain resistance. Okay, it's almost full with durability. Now I'm going to repair it, and there it gives me an extra 0.7% on the cold resistance, and it fills up the acid rain percentage. Now, all those resistances, environmental stats, helps you a lot for survival. Okay, like if you've got armor on you or a helmet, if that thing is almost broken, then it's almost going to give you no protection. But if it's fully repaired, it's going to give you the maximum protection. And that really counts a lot for hazmat gear and stuff like that, where you need that, that specific resistances to help you out. Barbed wire isn't a must, but yes, I'm just showing you guys that getting barbed wire from gates is a great option when you're building a beginner base, because traps have been updated in the new update, and it can help you a lot with protecting your base. And then if you try to build up a vehicle, at the moment vehicles spawn with parts. So if you need that specific drive belt or spark plugs that you just can't find, you don't have to run yourself to death to every single garage and every single factory. Just look for another quad that has spawned and get the parts from it that you need. And like I said, scrap metal is necessary as well for the furnaces and the fireplace and other things that you want to craft, like ammunition and crafted weapons and stuff like that. Now at the moment we're just going to focus on the base, so we want to build a furnace and then a few other things. So every vehicle gives you about 9 to 10 scrap metal. Bigger vehicles gives you a bit more, but not a lot. But we're just going to hit about 3 vehicles to get about 30 scrap metal. And since everything just goes into one inventory slot, it's not a waste. As long as you're only using one inventory slot, you're not wasting space or weight at all, which makes the update to the amount of parts that you can have in one slot, which just costs you that one single weight, makes a major difference. Now I wanted to make the base outside, but I thought to myself, a lot of people don't want to get raided. And when I talk about protecting your base and hiding your base, I always focus on places that people don't really go to. And if there's one cave in Mistreated that people don't really need to go to anymore, I'm sure there's experienced players that come here, but the cave itself hasn't got that many resources unless you're going for base building. But when it comes to loot, then the Sultan, the Sultan cave and the cave close to the Sultan radiation zone is much better, so it will be a much easier target for people. And I wanted to, try and make the base on uneven ground. Okay, now in the next video I'll be showing you guys how I'm going to build a base on a hill, which opens up a heck of a lot more options for you. Gone are the days where you want to build a cabin in the woods on a hill, but because of the base building mechanics it makes it very difficult for you. Now I'm going to show you that there are a lot more options for creativity And since I'm a bit of a perfectionist, it helps a heck of a lot with getting that base perfect, not having any gaps where people can steal your C4 through the crack of the wall. Yes, Armazi, I'm talking to you. And then, it just helps a lot, and it looks a lot more clean. There are still going to be guys that, don't really focus on it, but for you guys that really wants to make something that you're proud of, this next update is going to be for you. Okay, and like I said, the options that opens up with this new snapping system is phenomenal, and they're still working on it. At the moment, a lot of you guys have been struggling with roofs and stuff like that, and I'm going to show you in the second video an easy way to do it if they don't get to that. But they have told me that they're going to make a snapping system where you can snap the roof to your walls as well. Okay, so all the frustrations, in my opinion, 98% of the frustrations are going to be gone. So let's get to this location. Luckily, in this cave, there's iron ore deposits. Now, I'm in the cave. I've crafted a pickaxe, so I'm gonna harvest as much iron ore as I can, because the one important thing about building a starting base is that people can break into your base if it's just wood. Okay, if you just made it from lumber, they can break through it with melee weapons. But where you cancel them out with raiding you easily is by upgrading it to metal. Okay, you upgrade it to plated walls, and that's gonna basically guarantee you that they can't break in with any normal weapons. They're gonna have to use explosives. Okay, and specifically C4. They're gonna have to work hard to get in there. Okay, and if you've got a very, very small base, like I'm going to show you now, they have to think if it's worth it. Okay, and again, you can hide your base very well with this method. But yes, like you see, just 2 lumber for the plot sign, and with a new snapping system, you can basically extend. You can bring the thing that you want to place further away from you and closer to you, which is going to help a lot for those days where we wanted to place the wall and then we fall off the platform, because we weren't away far enough. Not that I know for sure that you're not going to have that problem at all, but it's going to make it much easier for you just to gauge the distance. The biggest feature, which is going to help us a lot with hills, those cabin bases that we want to build, that's going to look really awesome, which I'm going to be covering in the second video, is using the shift key to lower your platform into the ground. Now this makes a major difference to your baseline, because it's helping you to lower your platform into a slanted hill, onto a floor that's not perfectly straight, or level. So those days where you always look for that perfect level terrain, otherwise your platforms are going to be on different heights, and it's just not what you want, is gone. Now with the lowering system, you can lower the platform into the ground, and then you can snap your next platform, onto it. So you're going to have a perfect level platform. Now what I'm showing you here is basically just with a shift key that you can lower it. But very important is that in the past you might like to place a 3x4 wall or platform like this, and just put 4 walls around it and feel you're fine. And yes, you can still do that, but what I'm showing you here is that you can see that all the snapping points are at the bottom of the platform. Okay, so the snapping system is looking for something on that line at the bottom to snap to. Okay, it needs something to hold it in place and to not move at all. And that's going to be very, very difficult if you don't have a platform underneath to work from. And like I said, you can use the shift key to lower the platform. You know, you can use a 1.3 platform or 3 meter platform to sink it into the ground and then use that as your base. As you can see, there's a gap there. You can still place it, but there's a gap because it can't snap perfectly. So it needs an area to snap to, which is very important. Yeah, I'm basically showing you can cook, you know, while you're doing your iron ore with your one iron furnace, or with your one furnace. You can also cook the meat in there. Okay, just remember it does one piece at a time, so you can't just plop 5 pieces in there like with the campfire and think all 5 are going to cook at the same time. So you want to do one at a time, or you want to split them up. Okay, and always keep an eye on it. So I'm just busy here with the iron ore to, you know, get ready to upgrade those walls. And I've basically constructed the basic base, which is still protected, but it's not perfect. Okay, so with the snapping system, if you don't have a base, you're gonna get frustrated. Okay, it's going to leave a bit of frustration, or, you know, you're gonna have a negative effect with it. So please just remember that wherever those points appear, it needs a core, you know, it needs a side, or it needs a surface to snap to. And here I'm just showing you don't always have to go look for deer. You know, if you're getting hungry, you want to cook some meat, you know, just run around. One another time a dog is going to pop up, you know, you can just kill the dog for the meat and you're set to go. Getting back to the snapping system. And yes, yeah, because I got because I picked up radiation in the storm, you don't always need to go to a swamp. Okay, there's various locations where you can pick up blue mushrooms, and I'm sure by now you guys know this is my favorite camping area. 2 mushrooms there. You can get a blue mushroom in the cave as well, but of course, you know, it's all randomly generated, so sometimes you're gonna get a blue mushroom in there, sometimes you're not. But yes, this camping location for starting out beats most of the locations I've been looking at for, you know, by a mile. You can have really nice private fights here with other people that are trying to build up quads, because there's quad spawns here as well. There's a grill here that you can pick up, you know, and take to your base to, you know, cook some meat. There's a kitchen here for you to get matches and everything. And these beds in these specific houses gives you more rags than any other beds in the game. Okay, these beds have got so many points to get rags from. It's insane. Okay, normally beds in towns will maybe give you, you know, like a 2 or 3 points at most to get rags from. If you really crouch down and take your time, you know, you can. I've gotten 10 rags from those beds, so they are absolutely phenomenal. And then at this camping site, there's this little small cave, yeah, or bunker, and here's a lot of lumber. Okay, again, like I said, for starting a base, this area is phenomenal because you're getting the rags that you need, you're getting tons of lumber. You know, there's trees all around, there's the kitchen, there's the grill, there's the rags from the tents, you know, the sleeping bags from the tents. So you can really get a lot of lumber here. And I mean, one run through here and you can make a horseshoe pack and a fanny pack, okay, one time. And you can probably craft more rope, you know, to get a hatchet or a pickaxe or whatever. And then there's these bushes. With a new update, you can get a lot more thatch from the bushes, which you can craft rags with again, okay? Which in turn, again, helps you to craft a pickaxe or a hammer, you know, or a hatchet easier. Because all you need for those tools are rope, a rock, and a stick, okay? We all know it's easy to get a rock. We all know it's easy to get a stick, or just take a wood log, split it into sticks. So lumber, rope and rags, you know, has always been the main priority in this game. And that's why this area is just phenomenal. So yeah, I cured the radiation here. and I put down a small little crate in the cave because I had a lot of items on me that weighed me down. And all I'm basically going to do is take apart that base that I've built there, which doesn't look too bad, but I'm going to take it apart and I'm going to show you guys exactly what makes the snapping system so fantastic. And remember, this is on the experimental server, guys. They are still going to do improvements to it, so there's not the final product, but I'm sure it's going to get you guys excited, as much as I am. So there I sank the 1.3 meter platform into the rocks, getting a nice base there for my door. This little base, where I didn't get clear snapping points, had gaps, and people can steal my stuff through the gaps. And as you can see, with this, you can still hold Alt, and turn the thing, but you'll see now when it snaps, right there. Now I can't move it, even if I move the mouse slightly, okay, it's stuck there. And look at this perfect alignment. It's about on 50% of the wall on the platform, okay? So your next platform will cover the other 50%. And this is fantastic because stacking walls with the C4, especially now that the C4 can stick to walls, it's a waste, okay? Because C4 can blast 2 or 3 walls that are stacked up against one another. So you want that where you're making more compartments for them to break through, okay? And that's perfect with this beautiful half snapping system to the platform, because you can make multiple rooms, which is going to force them to go through as many walls as they can. Look at that, guys. I mean, look at that. When is the last time you placed a door like that? Okay, I placed that wall and that door in 2 seconds. Okay, no problem at all. And the big secret here is the platform that I'm working from. So, like in life, okay, like our parents told us, without a strong foundation, everything falls apart. And this applies to the new base building system. Even with the walls up, I'm just going to place, the platform right there, and it's perfect. Now, like I say, they are still working on improvements, but because I'm at a different height, you must remember now, I'm standing on rocks and everything. Sometimes you need to get, like a certain angle, but I mean, that's just because I placed the walls before I placed the platform. But like I say, you can just work on the angles, and they still, smoothing out minor things. But like I said, if you're outside on a hill or on better ground, and you place the platform before you place the walls, it's going to be easier. But like I say, it's still perfect. Okay, so I had no problem spending those 15 seconds to get to the perfect point. Okay, and bam, there you go. That is the most beautiful and the most perfect single platform base you'll ever get. Okay, absolutely no gaps, and that gives you a perfect example of what you can do with the base. And the most important thing is, where you can build the base. So the areas that you guys tended to ignore but maybe wanted when you first started playing Miscreated, those areas are opening up now. Okay, and in the next video, guys, I'm going to show you a really cool spot. You guys know I know the map well. And, I know on Rust there's a lot of videos where you can, the guys, this is how you pack the most stuff, into a base. So here it is, guys. This is how you pack a lot of stuff, into a base. I've got the bed, I've got the workbench, I've got the furnace, I've got that rack there that I've built. I've got the heater, although I don't need the heater because I'm in a cave. But I mean, if you're outside, you're gonna need a heater sometimes, for the cold or for the nuclear winter storm. At the moment, you can't place a bear trap in a cave, you know, but which is, I don't care about that. You can still place traps in a cave, in this specific cave, guys. Please don't tell me, Matthias, I couldn't build a base in the other caves. I'm sorry, bro. There's only with this cave, and then there's the little, you know, the little entrance at the cinema, which you can use the world's protection, you know, to make it more difficult for guys to get into your base. Now, the cinema is the ultimate example, because you can literally just, you know, close up the two entrances. But yeah, you can close up the entrance of the cave as well, which we're not focusing on now. So again, there, it's not you know, it's not giving me a perfect snap, but when it's green, it's taking it away from the wall, and that's what's important to me. I don't need to guide that distance, okay? It's going to make sure for me that my crate isn't going through the wall, and I don't have to, you know, gauge the distance myself and then place and back up, you know, place and back up until I have it perfect. And the other thing is, you can press control and then you can still have the free system if you want, okay? So for certain base parts, like with the bed, I pressed control just to get it, you know, just to use as much space as I can. Now, I didn't really focus here on, you know, getting everything extremely perfect. So I just placed the big crate there. The small crate at the top, you know, isn't perfect either, but you can press control and play around with it. But what I'm showing you guys here is speed. Everything I did there took me about a half an hour, okay? So there we go. We've got the base, everything's upgraded. Only way a guy can get in here is with C4, and he must watch out for the traps, because the traps are going to take 10% health every second and give him a bleeding marker every second, you know, if he goes and stands there. You can put spikes on the roof as well, you know, if you don't want guys to stand on the roof, but with C4 it can stick to walls as well, okay? So what I would do is this is just the basic protection, okay? You know, if the guy hasn't got a torch, or you don't want guys to try and jump onto the roof, you know, especially when you've maybe got 3 or 4 floors, but you've only got one roof. You know, this is a good way to make it more difficult for them to jump onto the roof, and you can make these traps as wide as possible. Okay, so, you know, a wide area. And you can see I use the barbed wire. Here at the back, I'll use the wooden spikes. Okay, I didn't use it now, but I'm going to show you there in the crafting menu. It's under base building, and you go to structures and then traps, and you can use those spikes. Okay, those wooden spikes, palisades at the back. Okay, for basic protection. And yes, guys, the traps are awesome now, because you can really go crazy with it, and it stops people from, you know, investigating your base unnecessarily. So we're at the end of the video. If you like this video, you know, click the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button, and don't forget about the mission, guys. And as always, you know my motto: just have fun. That's it, boys. Just have fun. Have a great day.